Hello, Facebook Ads people. I'm Konstantinos, and this is the Facebook Ads Breaking News Podcast. Hello, guys. Another podcast. It's summer already here. We are in the middle of, almost in the middle of July. It's really hot. I picked some topics to discuss today. I don't know if it's going to be a very long podcast, but I'm not going to say that it's not going to be because I'm always saying that and it ends up being 1 hour. So let's go straight away to it. First of all, as news of the week, I think that the biggest news was the threads, and we're going to analyze it in a little bit. But in terms of results, I can tell you that my accounts are doing really well, even new accounts that I took. It looks like everything is healthy, and I'm very happy for that. I hope you're having also the same success. Let's talk a little bit about the threads. There are some things that I want to address over here. First of all, since the time that it was actually launched, we have so many users. I don't remember the actual numbers, and you might say you should have done your research before you start the podcast. So the thing is that I think that Twitter has 240 million users. I'm not sure about that. But I think that Instagram, I'm sure that Instagram took 80 million users in just a matter of 1 or 2 days. So this is huge. And it's a very big threat for Twitter because everybody we have a billion users right now on Instagram. So basically, I think the Instagram users are 1 billion. Maybe all the things that I'm saying are wrong. It doesn't matter. Anyway, what I want you to get is that the users from Instagram, there are much more from what are the users on Twitter are. So basically, what the let's see. Just a second. So if we take that, let's do Twitter users. So right now Twitter has 535 million users, okay? And if we go to Instagram users, so I said they have okay, so Instagram has 2.35 billion. And if we go to threads users, wow. So the thread users are 100 million users, and this is happening in just, I don't know, it started on the 6th, I believe, not even, basically in 1 week. In 1 week, it managed to get 100 million users. And if the users from Instagram are 2.3 billion, whatever I said earlier, imagine how many they can go to threads, and that's a very big threat for Twitter. But why am I saying all of that? Because now we're going to have a completely new era of advertisement, because we have from the one side TikTok, which we're going to mention a little bit. We have on the other side Twitter. We have on the other side Facebook, Instagram, and now Threads, and we have and WhatsApp and many others, and we have on the other side Google and YouTube. The two main players are Google and YouTube, and Facebook, Instagram is the second one, because Google it's actually getting more revenue from the paid ads, and in my opinion it makes total sense. Now, what is it going to happen if Twitter, for example, is not there to compete? We're going to be left with TikTok and two major players. The other thing that I want to mention here is that I believe that TikTok is going to be banned eventually, unless if they change something. This is why I don't like all of these people that they talk about the futures on TikTok. TikTok is a super shady app, and especially in other countries, not in China, it has a different form. And to be honest with you, I had a TikTok and I just deleted it because it was consuming a lot of my time, being not productive and becoming a total idiot that you're just watching videos like this scrolling down. So, which I'm having the same effect sadly with shorts, but I cannot stop YouTube. So the thing is that I think that TikTok is going to be banned eventually, or it's going to have problems in different countries. Anyway, it's not working already with paid ads. So now we're going to have two major players, because with Threads, we have Facebook actually trying to overrule Google on spending. If we can see, for example, again here, since we have done it once, let me see one more. Let's say, for example, what is the spend per year for paid ads platform. So if we see it over here, yeah, no, I don't want that. Okay, let me rephrase it. How much money is being spent on Facebook ads versus Google ads? Okay, let's see if we get something. So, no, we don't want that. Comparison for small business, Shopify. Oh my god. It doesn't have these numbers, I guess. Okay, so Zaya retailers can spend up to 50 million per year on paid ads in Google. That average, yes, but you're not answering in total. Total BS. Anyway, I don't have this data with me now, but I know for sure that the amount of money that is being spent for paid ads on the Google platform, it's higher from Facebook. Not anything crazy, but it is higher. And I think that because of what Mark did with Threads and all of that, if TikTok is going to be banned, if Elon doesn't come with one of these crazy ideas and is going to just turn the tides again, then we're going to have two massive platforms, or a cluster of platforms like Facebook is, that they're going to control the game, and everybody is going to advertise on them. You're going to have for intent Google, you're going to have for impulsive buys and for scaling Facebook and all of the platforms, and that is going to be. So in the way that I think of it, Threads is going to be a super nice addition. We might see in the future placements with Threads and see how we can start advertising there, what kind of things it's going to need and everything. But it's another platform, and there are going to be more strategies. Maybe you will try some different things only with placements on Threads and see that is working differently. So a lot of interesting stuff that they're coming, and I believe that it's going to be nice. Okay, if anyone thought that, for example, Facebook or Instagram is dead because of TikTok when it came out, they're wrong. They're just haters of Facebook and Instagram because they didn't make it, because it's difficult and expensive to advertise there. So they went to TikTok and they failed again. And even if another platform comes, they're going to go there, and eventually they're going to fail also there. So that's all about what I think about the Threads and how it's going to evolve. Still, we have a lot of things to see. We're not even sure of how this is going to go, but this pairs actually really nice with one of the questions that I got here from Joanna. Is it better to focus on creative vs technical knowledge these days? So let me tell you what's my opinion about that. I have videos, and in the podcast also we explain that I believe that because they have now Advantage Plus targeting, that they want you to actually either put an indication of an interest, and then Facebook is going to expand it. They have also the expand of the audience. They have also Advantage Plus placements. They have CBO. They have Advantage Plus campaigns in total. So we go into a model that we have more and more and more presets coming, and Facebook wants you to just have a small influence in what you are going to do within your ads. So they would propose to you to just do super consolidation, just do even just one campaign if you can, and just try to target everyone that you want with the creative that you're going to have and with the message that you will have on the creative. But you see that things are happening all the time. We had iOS, we had now the threads. We're going to have something else in the future, something else. And when this is happening, all the people that they are not actually investing and they are not trying to have better knowledge and understanding about the algorithm, they are the ones that it takes them again 1 year in order to find someone with a blueprint which he thought because he or she had the technical knowledge. So yes, the game, Joanna, is going through the process of caring more about creatives and less about the settings that we are going to have on our Facebook ads. But still, I believe that even on these periods, we need to know technical, because still we have the optimization. Let's not forget that. It's not like you do one campaign and then you forget it. I have videos that I show how you optimize an Advantage Plus campaign. And when you have technical knowledge, you understand why this and that and how to optimize, which is always going to be important to optimize your ads. On the other hand, we have the creative, which was always important, but right now, if we have a lot of preset settings, more and more people are going to just focus on creatives and not in any of the other settings, because they're not going to have any saying on these different settings. But then the threads might come and the game is going to change, or another change and another change. The shop ads are coming and they're going to be mandatory eventually. So I think there are so many things that are going to happen. But for sure, yes, I understand your point that the creatives are getting more and more and more the regulator of the game and the success. Let's go to another question over here. Hi Konstantinos, I just started testing copy creatives with dynamic ads. I know probably should duplicate the ad set when I found winning copy creative and I want to swap out the losers and test more. But what if the ad set has a good performing hot pocket and I want to keep it running? Because of our smaller budget, 30 per day on this dynamic ad set, I'm inclined to change the copy creative in the ad set because it has a good hot pocket instead of duplicating it, which will increase the budget to 60. Or will those changes to the creative mess the performance up anyway? First of all, let's go with the main rule here. If something is working on Facebook, we don't touch it, okay? This is a main rule, we follow it, that's it. Even if you don't have to do anything for 30 or 50 days, you don't touch it. Now, you have a small budget, you have $30 per day because you have a limit into your ad account. Until they lift it, the limit, or they give you more budget, you do nothing there. There is no such thing as, I want to improve my results. There is no such thing. This is what I get. If I want to improve my results, I do another campaign. You don't have the luxury of doing another campaign. Even if you had the luxury of doing another campaign, I can see that from the way that you are saying things, that you were going to change this one, for example. No, you leave this one, you duplicate it, and you do the changes that you want in the next one. If it fails, it's fine. You still have the other one. There is no point for you to touching something that it has been working, because maybe it worked in a period that it was favorable for you, and now you have CPMs that they're adjusted to that and you have a hot pocket. If you continue changing it, then you're competing. First of all, you're taking it out of the learning. It goes back to the learning phase. Even if you change one comma into your copy, it will go back to learning phase. So you start competing with the people that they're starting ads in that period. Okay, so you have a small advantage because you have some data, but still it's not ideal because you're just losing all the progress that you had in terms of the learning phase. Now, I think you should keep it. I think you should not touch it. I think you should stay like this. make the money that you make because it's working pretty well. Don't try to remove anything, don't try to do anything. But I also know that for people that they're starting now with ads, it's impossible for you not to do it, and you're going to touch it and you're going to f it up, and you're going to do this 2 or 3 or 4 times until you realize that Konstantinos is right and you should not touch it, and then you will take your lesson. But if you are one of these people that they're the exception and they do listen without having their own failures in order to learn, don't touch it because you might not be able to recover it. If you touched it already and it's doing bad, just try to duplicate it and relaunch it. Don't try to revive this one. Just try to duplicate and relaunch it as it was. Don't change anything. It was working before. Try to duplicate it, relaunch it so that it can work again. Relaunching means that you will duplicate it and start it the next day at 6 a.m. If you duplicate it and then change things, then what can I say? It's your fault. If you're changing something that is working, then it's ruined. And then you duplicate it and you don't run it in the same way that it was before. It's like a landing page. If you have a landing page which is working and it's having sales and everything, and then you do a change and it's not working anymore, what are you going to do? You're going to revoke the changes and you're going to just stay in the previous settings. Anyway, next question. Hi, should I put something in the existing customer cap in Advantage Plus, or is it better to let Meta decide and let it open? What's the best practice so far? So, there are two things to this question. First of all, he's talking about the cap. A lot of people were actually, I won't say angry. Yeah, everybody's angry with Facebook, I guess. So they were angry because they were saying that, hey, Advantage Plus is working, but it's stealing a lot of sales. And there are people that they don't understand, even if you drill their brains and you put this idea inside, it's going to be rejected by their brains, that Facebook is all about repeated customers and is all about new and repeated customers together, and they just want to get new customers all the time from Facebook, which I totally disagree with. So they just want to go and exclude past customers in your cold audience and stuff, and Advantage Plus didn't have this option. Now, the truth is in the middle. I also know that Advantage Plus didn't have that, and it was stealing a lot of retargeting sales, okay, a lot of repeated sales. So when you were running Advantage Plus campaigns, you could see that immediately when they started, you could see that immediately your retargeting campaigns were dying because the retargeting results were going to the Advantage Plus instead of your retargeting campaign. So in accounts that I'm running a lot of Advantage Plus campaigns, I'm not even running a retargeting campaign most of the times. Or I will run something with small budgets just so that I can feel well that I'm not leaving any money on the table. But let me tell you that Advantage Plus, especially if you run a lot of campaigns like me, Advantage Plus, by the way, you can do 8 max per account, it's actually sucking all the retargeting results also. But the second scale of my answer is this. Should you be angry with that? My answer is no, and this is the reason that I don't want people to exclude their past audiences. The point here is not for your freelancer or your agency to come and tell you that, look, this is the ROAS that you're getting. It's not about that. If you have a cooperation like this with someone who is just talking to you with results and stuff, and you're not talking about reality, what is happening into your bank account, then this is a bad cooperation. If, though, you have a cooperation that you can talk and you can say, look, we know that your results might be a little bit inflated or whatever, or we know that maybe you are getting a little bit of retargeting over there, but it's totally fine, because at the end of the day, this data is going to come. It's going to help you find more cold traffic audience, because as we know, Facebook is working with me converting, then finding someone similar like me, and so on. It makes total sense even for cold traffic audiences and Advantage Plus campaigns to just go and to just target again people that they have converted into your site, because they're inside the core audience that likes your products and it's converting with them. So Advantage Plus campaigns are doing this a little bit more. This is why Meta decided, after a lot of people being angry with it, to add a cap that it says, for example, that you can target maximum 30% of my retargeting audience, not more than that or something like this. And this change is going to be active in all accounts by the end of the year. Most probably in most accounts right now you will not be able to see it. I have some other accounts that they already have it, but the truth is that I'm not using it for the reason that I'm explaining, that even a retargeting sale coming from a repeated customer, it can be a sale that is going to be a data point, or data, or whatever we may call it, or a person that is going to come into our data, and it's going to help us go closer to other profiles that they might be ready to buy our service or product. So that was my answer. And then he replies, Konstantinos, thank you very much for your answer. There are many YouTubers that say that you should use a cap between 5 and 15%. That's why I asked. There are many YouTubers that they say that you should do zero targeting. There are many YouTubers that they say that you should do between 5 and 50%. The point to me is this: do they actually? I gave you an explanation, and the explanation, it has a technical explanation inside. Someone who says 5 and 15, for example, okay, 5 or 15. What is their explanation? That I have used it and it is working? Because this is not an acceptable answer for me, because every ad account is different, and maybe for one ad account 5% is good, or maybe for another ad account 50% is good. Okay, I have the stupid example with with a trip to the moon, for example. Okay, if we ever have a trip to the moon and we have people paying for it, most probably you want to exclude 100% of people that they have been there, because they wouldn't like to go all the time. So there are different businesses, and you cannot just throw numbers just because they make you sound like an expert. That's why I asked, but now I also figured out, even I let it open, Facebook use around 10% of retargeting, correct? So it's not true that many YouTubers say that Facebook could spend a lot of money for expensive, worthless retargeting. When you hear this, and to my ears, for example, it sounds like someone is trying to intrigue you in a way of telling you something, that Facebook is trying to trick you about something, so that they can make you engage with it. Okay, I also figured out, unless if they explain it technically, okay, if they can explain to me technically the 5 and the 15%, I'm fine with it. But I don't think there is a technical explanation. I think that it has to be different numbers to different companies, and you should test it and see what is working better or what is working less. That's my opinion. I also figured out we got sales from retarget customers, but I also think the whole retargeting game is maybe not as specific anyway because of missing data. So your answer matched to it. And my answer also, I gave him after that the answer about repeated customers being also data that they're going to help you get cold traffic audience and stuff. So I think we covered that. Next one. Hi Konstantinos, when I create ads, the advanced detailed targeting option is on and I cannot uncheck it. Is it just me? I think you should be able to uncheck it. I know that in the future maybe they are going to make it mandatory. This is the option that we were discussing earlier about having advantage plus targeting, I think. Advanced detailed targeting option, yes. So it's advanced detailed targeting option. In some other accounts, it's very interesting, and I'm very excited for that. Actually, I really like it because it's detailed. It's a detailed targeting option, and you go there, and you see that they have an option that says detailed targeting and another one that says do your own targeting, for example, custom targeting. So they try to do targeting like automatic placements or manual placements. It's fine because I guess that for a long period, even on Advanced Plus and everything, we're already doing it. We're using broad audience. Of course, it's going to be a little bit bad for the new ad accounts that they cannot just use immediately broad targeting. But still, I find it interesting because of one setting inside there, that it says that, and this is what I told him, that even if it's open, you can go inside and you can put some of your targeting, and Facebook says that it's going to start from this targeting and then expand it. We had a lot of different models of working like this. First of all, I don't remember how long ago we had this expand button, the reach expand button, that you check and it was below your targeting. And this is a button that I used to use a lot. For example, you could put one targeting over there, and then you check the button and it was expanding it to the whole potential reach of your demographics. The way that I used it is with the Blender method, that I used lookalikes on the top, then interest and this button, and it was expanding because before that button you were using lookalikes and interests, and it was making it was actually calculating how many people inside this lookalike they also like this interest. So you were getting much less from the potential reach of your lookalikes. But then I started using lookalikes and interests with this button, and it was starting inside the lookalike with this interest, but it was expanding to the full potential reach of the lookalike. And I think that the same is going to happen here. You might have your targeting over there. It's going to start from this, find the hot pockets, and then expand it to a much bigger audience, which we all like. So I think that in that way, it should work very well. And then I told him about that. He says, Konstantinos, yes, I see it. Would you suggest turning this feature off if the total country size is 2 million? Maybe it's better to always have it on then. I think, especially with smaller countries, that you want to target the 2 million people. It's not like you have an option of not targeting them if you want to have some serious results. I live in Greece. The potential reach here is 5-6 million. I never run ads for Greece, I guess, because I don't want to work for Greeks. But the truth is that when you're having such a small audience size, and you have an option that you can start, from example, from an interest of 100k, 200k, and then expand it to the full audience. I find it super cool and super nice, and I think that this is the golden solution between the ad accounts that they're new and the pixels that they're new, and you cannot target broad, and you can just have to use interests, and with the preset option of using broad from the beginning. So this is the golden solution. You can use interest and then expand it to broad with this setting. Even in new ad accounts, you can start with the interest but expand it to the broad, and this is going to help a lot. Next question. Hi, if I'm in learning limited because I didn't make the 50 conversions in a week, do I get out of the learning phase just days or weeks later? If you are in the learning limited, you have never been inside. You have never passed the learning phase. And most of the times Facebook says that if you're in the learning limited, you will never go to the learning phase. Now, I have ads working with learning limited also, so don't be panicked about that. Or does the campaign stay in learning limited it says in learning limited forever? At least this is what Facebook says. But you should not be panicking about that, because I have seen ad sets with learning limited just keep doing really well with ROAS. And my second question is, can I put 3 countries together in one Advantage Plus, or should I always use separate campaign for each country? The daily budget is 200 euros. Thanks for the answer. You should separate them. I have a video about that, in how to separate the different countries. There are 2 or 3 factors. First factor is the demographics. If you have a pixel that it's advertising on United States, and you want to target Europe suddenly, most probably you should not put them together, because your pixel is more used to advertising that. I would even suggest you to have a different account for the Europe, because you have different demographics. Second thing, let's say that you have a pixel that understands everything and you don't have issues with that. You can target worldwide, globally. You need to group them in a different way. Like, for example, if you put United States with France, all the money is going to go in United States because it's a bigger audience. Facebook finds it more easy to spend in the bigger audience. We know that because when we do CBO campaigns with interests or with anything else, we can see that the money is being spent on the bigger audience. And we know also that because if you do it and you break down your results, you will see that most of the spend is happening on United States, or the only way for that to be the opposite is if you do worldwide and you put India, Morocco, Turkey, because they have low CPMs, you will see that all the spend is going there because Facebook thinks that it can get cheaper traffic for you. The thing is that Of course, you should not group them together if you do worldwide, because we have these countries that they are stealing the budget for no reason. But even if you are having countries like France, United Kingdom and all of that, you should not group them together with United States, because United States has always need to be alone because of this reason. It's going to suck all of the budget and the others are not going to be tested properly. On the other hand, if you have a cluster of countries which has the same sizes and stuff, you can put them together. The second thing, it's the time zone. The time zone, you need to group them to time zones. For example, you can put United States and Canada in theory together if you want, but again, the most budget will go to United States because they're in the same time zone and the prime hours are going to be the same. But if you put Canada, Australia and United Kingdom in the same campaign, you have three completely different time zones, and then the prime hours are going to be completely different and the budget is not going to be scattered in the best possible way. So try to group them together in time zones, and also it really depends on how your ad account is resetting, because if you're resetting before the prime hours, it's not going to be okay. For example, let's say that you have a time in United Kingdom but you are running ads for Australia. It's a problem. The hours that the budget is resetting, maybe there are crucial hours for the country that you are advertising in terms of having the best quality traffic because of the prime hours, which most of the times are in the evening. So these are the things that you should look, and if you want to learn more about it, you can check my video on how to group the countries and doing ads. Next question. I usually see a CPM of 70 to 90 USD when advertising in the United States for the affiliate products, weight loss niche. Is it because many people advertise it with almost similar text and creatives? It has nothing to do with text and creatives. Maybe it's the time to tell you about that. I'm having one ad account that I'm working to. I'm spending $1 million to it, let me tell you what I have realized. It's a very strange account. I'm not going to go into details because I have an NDA about it. But let me tell you what is happening with it. I have realized that in such big numbers spend of 1 million, 1.5 million per month, which we do, and sadly I cannot show this account also on YouTube because of that reason. When you have that, you have also competition, which is doing the same as you. The CPM is not deciding necessarily if you're going to have good ROAS or not. Keep that on the side. It's deciding how many people they are advertising, the volume of the ads that you are having in a specific niche, and your creative or copy has nothing to do with it. It has to do with the products that you're trying to sell, and if the people that are going to buy them are enough or not enough in a daily level. This is what we see every day with the CPM. So we see the volume of the ads. We see so many ads, and we try to see, we see so many ads, and it's all about how many people can be absorbed in order to buy or not from this mass. So it has nothing to do with creative. It has to do with the volume of the ads, how many ads, what is the quantity of the ads. Now, the quality of the ads is not being, for example, you might have a lot of high CPM, but you might have a good CPA because after a period you are leaving ads that they are working, and this is piling up. And it has nothing to do with how much CPM you're going to have, because the CPA is totally controlled from the period and the consistency. So if you're running ads for a very long period, you're going to have a good cost per result because you piled up good campaigns and good hot pockets. But the CPM can just change in one day or two because one of your competitors or several competitors have started a lot of new ads and we have a lot of big volume. But this doesn't mean that the CPA is going to drop necessarily, because we have quality and optimized ads. So I want you to separate them a little bit, because a lot of times people say high CPM, high ROAS. It's not necessarily that. If you're very good positioned with your ads and everything, and you don't have any crazy competitor which is going to spend a lot of money to take a lot of this from you, then the CPM is just dictating how many more new ads are being created, and so on, and the volume of ads that exists out there. It's a little bit technical. I wish that I could show you the ad account that I'm spending one and a half million in order to explain it a little bit more, but sadly I can't, guys, because you need to know where you put your dick and your sign, and apparently I put my sign into this NDA document and I can do nothing about it, but at least I'm getting paid well for it, so it's fine. Let's go to the next one and last question. My dear friend Konstantinos, for the past 2 days I've been frustrated. Today at 5 a.m. I started a new CBO crazy method campaign with validated interest and validated creatives. Okay, I had to turn off the campaign for now. So he started the campaign at 5 a.m. and he closed it already. The metrics were terrible, with CTR below 0.3% and CPC above 2 Brazilian real. It was a campaign with a budget of 100 distributed among 16 assets, meaning $1 per asset. In an ABO campaign, I usually set up 100 assets each with $1. Sometimes I get a return of 12 or 15 sales using ABO in this way, but with CBO, I just can sell. An advice for your Brazilian fan? Honestly, I don't know what to do. So I have a lot of notes about that. This is a personal message on Instagram, but this is why I don't show his name. But I wanted to discuss it. First of all, if you're starting one campaign at 5 a.m. in order to close it some hours later because you don't like the CTR, this is a huge mistake and you should not do it. The problem is that you're not supporting your decision. You need to leave it at least 24-48 hours to see what is happening. Okay, in 24 hours, experienced people like me, we might close something if it's doing extremely bad. But still, closing it during the day, it doesn't make any sense. It's better not to start it at the first place. Secondly, if we go and we see a little bit of what you're doing here. First of all, I'm happy that you're using the crazy method with a validated interest and validated creatives. For example, something that has actually worked in the past. I don't like the fact that you closed it. No matter what the metrics are, it's too early to decide. Also, if you're telling me that you're spending over here, and it's already wrong that you're spending $1 per ad set in a CBO campaign. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense to do so. What is your average cost per purchase? Try to decide how much how much is the currency here. So for example, you are saying that you're spending, let me see, Brazilian reals, real to euro. Okay. And if we do the conversion over here of 100, how much is it? So you're doing a CBO campaign spending 18 euros. What is the average cost per purchase that you're getting? €1 per purchase. And I'm not talking about getting one purchase here and there from the thing that you're doing with the ABO campaign. I'm talking about consistently. What is your cost per purchase that you're getting? Is it $1? If it's $1, then you can run one campaign with the 100% real and put inside 18 assets. Okay, fine, do it. But I'm sure that this is not the case. And because this is not the case, I think that what we need to address here is that when you are running an ABO, you can do whatever you want. Okay, and if you put $1, even if something it sells for 20 and you do 100 ad sets with $1 each, you will have some lucky sales for $1 each. But I still believe that it's not going to be profitable in total. Okay, so when you're running a CBO campaign and you're putting $1 per ad set, it doesn't make any sense. You need to just put the ad sets that they're going to spend more. Also, you're training your ad account in a bad behavior that you're not going to be able to overcome just like this. So in my opinion, run CBO campaign with higher, with less ad sets, trying to see if we can optimize any. Don't close your ads that fast. I know this is a plug, and this is something that even if you listen to Konstantinos, you're not going to do it because this is your understanding right now about Facebook ads and you are afraid of it. Sadly, I cannot tell you all of these kind of things from the thing that I replied to him was because I think that this is the best advice that I can give him at that point. I didn't tell him all of that, but I told him that you need to just try to see my all of my other strategies, and maybe one of the others is going to work. Maybe cost cap, for example, is for him. But the truth is that the way that he is doing ads, he's not going to be successful. And if you are listening to that, my friend, you are not going to, because you're closing your ads too fast. You want to have sales for $1. And I don't know if in Brazil this is normal, but you need to see your average cost. It doesn't make any sense to put 100 ad sets for $1 each and just have some random sales and think that this is a good ad set, because in the next day most probably it's not going to get a sale, and at the end of the day it's not going to be consistently getting you $1 cost per purchase. You just have some random sales and you think that this can happen. It's not going to happen. And the other thing is keep trying different strategies, I guess, in order to find something that is working with your mentality, with the way that you think about ads. But I said already my opinion about it and why I think that all of this way of handling ads, it's completely wrong, and it's you're letting your fear overwhelm you, and you're not able to actually get past that in order to do something better with your ads. That's all that I had. Actually, this message makes me a little bit sad, because how the am I going to help him? How the can I tell him that closing your ads after 5 hours of starting, it's wrong? I have been there, and it took me time to realize it, and I feel like just sometimes you cannot just help people by showing them ad accounts or whatever. They just have to make their own mistakes and just learn eventually and be able to overcome it, because having 100 ad sets with $1, it's crazy on its own. It's not correct. Even if you have one sale, don't you see that this is just a random sale that you got by luck for $1? And the other thing, when you have 100 Brazilian reals and 16 ad sets, you start a campaign at 5 a.m. and then you close it later. What do you think that these ad sets have spent? 50 cents, 60 cents. What do you expect to happen with 50, 60 cents is just one day? And even the way that you do it, you have to get lucky again for one of the assets magically to work so that it can gather all of the $16, and maybe then you have better chances of having one asset that is just going to suck all of the budget. If I was clever enough in the morning that I have seen that, I should have replied that you should do one ad set with catalog, and you should do all the other ad sets with normal ads, so that I can trick you in a way of thinking that you're testing something, but eventually all of the budget would go to the catalog, because this is how Facebook behaves inside CBO campaigns. So I don't want to trick you in a way of thinking that I could do that. It would spend all the money in just one ad set. But I think that you need to pass through the phase that you are going to do mistakes, and you're going to understand that what you're doing here is just, you're just doing strategies here and they're like a headless chicken that doesn't have a plan, and it's all about, oh my God, this and stuff. It needs to be, you need to be more experienced, more composed, more consistent with that, and you should not just do ads like a hustler, for example. Okay, I hope that I didn't say anything to insult or anything, but it really makes me sad, the fact that I cannot actually help you, because how can I convince you not to close your ads? This is something you have the urge of doing it. How can I take the risk without even watching your ad account and telling you that you should not close your ads, and maybe the next day you launch one campaign that you actually have to close the ads? I guess that you should go through the phase of learning on your own by just watching technical things, my channel, other channels, and just try to find a strategy that's going to eventually work for you. Let's go now to the Freelancer Diaries. It says junior Facebook media buyer. Okay, I was laughing about this one. I don't think that it has that it's wrong in terms of the person that it's employing, because this is what they give at the end of the day. Whoever doesn't want to work, they can do it. But I just don't like the greediness, and I will explain why. We're looking to add a junior Facebook media buyer to our team. We're a marketing agency located in California, working primarily in the fitness space. We manage ads for hundreds of studios across the country. We are in need of a junior media buyer who can help us launch new campaigns, optimize, and even have the skills to create ads and copy. Our team is virtual, so we don't care where in the world you are as long as you get the job done. Each junior media is responsible for roughly 40 accounts. We expect you to be on camera for team calls and expect your English to be solid. We pay 600 USD per month. We're growing, so there is plenty of room for growth with us. Where the is the growth? So if we talk about here, so let's go and see. So if you do 600 divided with 40, you are asking for someone to work for a month for $15 per account. Are you idiot? What the is this? So where is the growth over here? This is slavery. And in my opinion, whoever comes and works with you, I think that it's going to be a person that has zero knowledge about Facebook ads. This is the only way that I can think of. Because if you have zero knowledge about Facebook ads and you start, I would do it for free. When I was starting, I would do it for free to work in 40 ad accounts immediately. But I'm sure that this is not the case, and you're not just going to give them 40 accounts if they're not good. So the situation here is that we have somebody paying $600 for 40 accounts. I'm not saying that this person can go and find on its own 40 accounts, but I'm sure that he can make more money from one client. So what's the point of getting here to someone? They make, I don't know how much money they make from these 40 accounts. If we calculate, they live in United States. If we calculate 40 with 500, you can already do the math. It's a lot of money. The point here is, why the you're not giving him 5K? Keep the other 15K. Give him 5K so that he can be happy. Why you should have to be that person that you just want to give $600 to a freelancer to do your to manage your 40 accounts? What do you expect from them? To give you the best possible service? Anyway, when I saw it, I was baffled with. It looks to me crazy. Give them more money. If he's managing 40 accounts and you're making 20K out of it, give them more money. Anyway, that's all I had for you, I guess, guys. I don't know if it's too big or too long, but it's really hot here, and I hope you're having some great time. I hope you're doing your vacation. I hope that you're relaxing. Most probably this year I will not go to any vacation because I have a lot of work, but we'll be here. Maybe I'm going to start the podcast for a little bit, just for a month, just to relax, maybe in August, and then come back on September. So until we meet again, be creative, be consistent, guys, and I will see you on the next podcast. This was the Facebook Ads Breaking News Podcast. Like it or not, it is what it is.